And welcome to the Robinhood Capitalists. I'm your host, DJ Flores. With me, of course, my coach, and hopefully yours, guys, soon, Coach Stacey B. Coach, I am excited to start this one. But how are you doing? How's everything going?
And everything's great here in lovely Currituck, North Carolina. Obviously, prayers and thoughts to the folks affected by the bridge collapse this morning in Baltimore. That was a terrible event. But as far as things for me, it's a great day. It's a great day to be here. Great day to be with you, and can't wait to talk to our guest today. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Prayers obviously to the families and anybody affected, and just a crazy story. The world.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Unbelievable.
When I first woke up, that was the first, and I normally don't turn a lot of things on, but that was the first thing that hit was the video of the collapse, and it was like, holy cow! How does that even happen? And it was it looked so effortless that it felt like a house of cards almost. It just amazing, the destruction.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're in store for more of that. Again, we'll keep this show to us. Obviously, guys, be sure and check out Coach and his son James have a show on Summit Politics. Check that out. I'm sure they'll talk a little bit more about that and where I was gonna almost go accidentally.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights, yes, please. And also, we do have our. Speaking of that, I guess I'll give a little shout out to that, and we're going to be talking about networking and some of those things here with our next guest, because that's how we met. So we're both part of a group here locally in Virginia Beach called BizConnect. Shout out to Laura and the amazing group they have there. But then we're also part of BNI. And so I was at BNI today, and me and my brother had on Wednesdays, we did our last week, our first episode of The Chosen, recapping that. It was amazing. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to watch it live or not. And we kind of had that up in the air until right before we went live, and he figured it out, and we're like, okay, let's do it. Well, YouTube flagged us, booted us there. So we're not allowed to go on YouTube anymore. But at least for that. But we are going to stream we did decide we are going to stream every episode from this point live. And it was amazing to walk into BNI. Speaking of networking in BNI, I had the meeting today, and a few people had asked me about it and said, and kind of it connected deeply with their families and kind of their kids and different journeys there. And it was like, wow, okay, this is awesome. And then the next thing I know, we were all kind of talking about it. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. So thank you all. But again, if you're a fan of The Chosen, like I am, absolutely love it. Be sure to check us out on Wednesdays. Switch between us, the Summit Politics and The Chosen, faith between the brothers. But yeah. Eventually, it's odd how that story will tie together, right, Coach?
It really is. It really is.
But let's get on to our guest. So again, Andres, met him, huge networker. He is the owner and founder of AKK Painting here locally in Virginia Beach. I'm gonna put up some pictures there. Can't wait to bring him out. His story is amazing. I'm sure you'll see some similarities to him and some of our previous guests. I love how colorful his trucks are, and that's a little bit of his team there. But and then he is a proud family man, as we know we are here as well, Coach. And so I'm sure we'll get into some of that. But he has this picture all over, so wanted to share this. But I guess you ready to get started?
Hi. So just in the title, transforming homes, transforming lives, that's a pretty good little plug in and of itself. I can't wait to dig into that.
Well, and like his tagline from BNI and networking is, AKK takes the pain out of painting.
Yeah.
You ready, y'all?
You get one heartbeat song. Take it seriously. This is your masterpiece. Don't forget to dream and taste the colors in the air.
All right, y'all. And again, we have with us our guest, the founder of AKK Painting, Andres. What's up, man? How are you? Thank you. First off, I gotta tell you before I let you get into your background and how where your story began and how this all started. I got to thank you for cutting your group meeting short and sticking with us. I'm honored that you did that. You again, we would have rescheduled, but seriously, thank you so much for that.
My pleasure, man. It's an honor, DJ. Appreciate it for having me and Coach as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. We're just super glad you're here. Can't wait to hear the story.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you could, I guess just give us the background, and if you could give everybody watching, especially here locally in Virginia Beach. Again, you are here in Virginia Beach with us. But
Got
if you could give them the I guess quick background to what all led to where you're at today, and then I want to obviously get into networking as we both see a lot of value there. So.
certainly, certainly. So first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers to the families in Baltimore. Definitely, my heart goes out. Um, yeah, my story really is like a lot of entrepreneurs. This is my second painting company. I'm originally from South America, Peru. Migrated to New Jersey when I was 12, and it was no better than Peru. So I looked for a way out, and the military was the way. So it got me here to Virginia. I am really a Virginian. I've been here since I was 20 years old, since 1998. So I'm a Virginian. Um,
I love it.
Started working for different painting companies after the military. Moved up really quick, and I knew I had an act just to do this on my own. My first mentor and the last person that I worked for kind of handed me the business in my lap because of the way I work, and pretty much brought me under his wing, and we started doing government contracting. Um, Nevertheless, I didn't know what I was doing back then as far as a business owner. Uh,
Who does, right?
yeah, I didn't know if I was making money. I didn't know operations. I didn't know anything other than I graduated from high school. That's it, pretty much. All along, I was already volunteering to become a firefighter, medic, and stuff like that. And I was going to school for that too, but was nothing related to painting. Um, that business failed due to partnership. Um, Around that time, I was getting picked up by the fire department, so that was kind of perfect timing. The business failed after 3 years, um, and I became a firefighter then. Um, if anybody knows anything about the fire department, you work 10 days a month, 21 days off. So I kind of got bored to my second year in the fire department. So I went back to my foundations of painting and started AKK Painting, which was named after my three kids' first names, or the first initial of their first names, Andres, Kenneth, and Kalia. Um, just to do it on the side. I had a couple part-time guys, a truck, just doing minor work here and there while I was a firefighter. My last year in business, before I left the fire department due to a heart condition, um, we were doing just under 80,000. The couple guys I had was part-time, full-time, whenever we had work, pretty much. But after leaving the fire department, I was kind of left without just this kind of simple paycheck that I had created with AKK Painting, which was kind of a hobby at that point, really supplemental income, if you will. So now I had to take it on as my real job because I had no benefits anymore and a good salary coming in. So I kind of had to reinvent myself, educate myself. I'm not big on reading, but I do hear a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of inspirational, motivational, business, podcasting, whatever I could get my hands on.
I
Um,
love
and one day out of the blue, I was just filling out gas and at a 7-Eleven and struck a conversation with a lady. And I've always been very much of an extrovert. I talk to just about anybody that can potentially lead to a business transaction.
it.
So no matter where the place or time it is, it's always kind of leads to business to me, for me.
Yes, sir.
So as we walk out, she sees that my truck said painting on it, just painting on it. And she said, "Hey, you're a painter?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "Do you want to come to a BNI meeting?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is, but sure, I'll go." uh, immediately I saw the vision, what I needed to do, because I was looking to supplement my income to support my family. So I needed this painting business, this little painting business that I had at work. So I saw that there was a need for contractors, but it wasn't until probably a few months afterwards where I realized that there was also a big need for what people were complaining about most of the time about contractors, people in my industry. Um, hey, this guy never showed up. This guy's, was always late. They were dirty. They left the job and came back weeks later and never finished the job. So I took all that and reversed it and promised everybody, hey, if you call me, I'll answer. If you email me, I'll get back to you. If I come look at a job and send you an estimate right away, and we'll do the job right away. And you pay me last. How about that? You pay me at the end. And my mission was really to grab that big megaphone of networking and knowing people and say, this is what I do, how I do it, when I do it, and how much I'll do it for. And one thing led to another. And before you know it, I was doing work for just about every member in BNI within the Hampton Roads areas. I had painted so many friends' houses now that they're become friends now, over the years, because of that mentality of, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to let you down. I'm not that guy that's going to take your money and run. As a matter of fact, you can keep all your money till I'm done. And when you're happy, not when we're completed, but when you're happy, you pay me. So that kind of mentality, spread the word. I network a lot. But not only that, I also pass a lot of referrals too. I also mentor a few people along the way, things that I learned as I learned them. And kind of the networking became my coaching, if you will, at the beginning, uh, because everywhere I met someone new, I picked up little things here and there, how they were doing, people doing their business, how what things were working for them, and what I should be doing with my business. So I started growing my business, from there on. Hire office person, hire a couple more people, bought a couple vehicles. So just to summarize it with the growth part, last year we did 1.2 million, and we have 12 team members.
Congrats.
Now
Congrats,
that's
man.
not all, like, it's all great. With growth comes headaches, and that's kind of the part.
Coach knows something about that.
That's kind of the part that I'm in now. So I've gone from organizations like networking to Disconnect, where you and I met, which is also a great organization.
Yeah.
Shout out to Laura as well. Um, but now got into an organization called EO, which is mainly coaching. It's not networking. It's education on how to scale your business. And they took me to a different level. And to this day, I'm still learning so much stuff. I just came from my cohort, and I'm learning how to hire people better, how to retain the people that I have better, how to create scorecards and key performance indicators, and different stuff that I didn't know back then, that I never knew when I had my first company. Things that makes it possible for me to grow and continue the success, if you will, for us to provide for not just my family. Now I have 12 team members that I have to provide for, and they have to provide for their families. So if I'm not successful, then they're not going to be successful. So it's a lot going into it. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. Kind of like BNI's mentality is giver's gain. I'm always been a giver. I was in the service, military, so that's service. I was medic as well, and a firefighter, so that's service. So my service is embedded in me. I've always looked to help others. If I learn something new, provide assistance to someone else. I like to mentor up and coming entrepreneurs, if you will, whenever I get a chance, just through networking. And I spread the word, and I help others. I mean, it just comes back in return, I think, 10 times, whatever you put into it. But definitely networking is the way to go for me.
I agree. I agree. And first off, thank you for your service, obviously, in many different forms and hats. And I'm very familiar with the Firefighter. So one of my oldest cousins, I think he's only like 3 or 4 years younger than my dad, if that gives anybody an idea of how big my family is. And so he was, so he just retired as a fireman. But So, and he actually, there was one part of my journey that he had me there kind of checking it out, and I thought about it. And it was kind of the freedom that you talked about, but like you can either get stuck in the boredom too. And I'm glad you chose the business route, because I think that's definitely the smartest way to go with it. But yeah, thank you for your service. Coach, I know you got a lot of questions, and he hit on some things I know you're itching at. So let's get into some of it.
Well, first off, just to echo DJ, thank you for your service. That's an awesome part of the story, and we love givers, people who give first, and that's our philosophy. So I love the language you're using. One of the first parts of your story, you mentioned the first painting business, and you said that it was an issue in the partnership. A lot of folks that start a business, they will start in partnerships, and they can be really difficult. I guess maybe without telling anything that we're not supposed to tell, can you give us a little bit about what was difficult about the partnership versus what you've been able to do on your own?
Well, yeah, definitely. The
Great
partnership
question.
was it was not equal, although
Mm.
the return on the money, well, we split the money was equal. The amount of work, the amount of knowledge, the amount of drive, it's never going to be. One of you is going to do something more than the other, and there's always going to be resentment, right? There's always going to be fights. So for that, I like to make all the decisions in my business. Obviously, my leadership team has a lot to say when it comes to changes in my business now, but they're not the final word. When you have a partnership, it's like flipping a coin. 50,
It's a marriage. It's a marriage.
yeah,
It's a marriage in a
half
lot of ways.
30 or 60-40 or 55-45, then really you don't have much. So that was kind of our initial agreement, was 50-50. And I wanted to move to different levels of how we ran the business, and he just wasn't with it. So we had to part ways eventually.
Yeah, I see that a lot. And DJ, you
Yeah.
called it a marriage. One of the things that's not in a lot of
Yeah.
con uh, partnership contracts, there's not a
Is it
clear like
prenup?
divorce clause. There's not a divorce clause of what happens if things go
Yes.
sideways, and there's not clearly defined roles and responsibilities, and it makes partnerships tough. So for any of our aspiring entrepreneurs that may be listening, if you are going in a partnership, really do look into how do you structure it in a way that you can overcome some of the partnership problems that I've seen, because I see that same thing. I've seen it so many times through the years.
And I want to echo what you're saying there, Coach. But I think even add a layer to that, and especially Andres, it seems like, and you're talking my language about growth and EO and wanting to bigger things, and so I want to dive into that. But and so as you're growing a team, though, I think the other next layer of that too, besides partnership and clear roles, there is a team. Like the more clear map you can give to your team. I heard Alex Hormozy say this. Shout out to him. I mean, I've never seen anybody do this way, as clear as he explains it. But I mean, he really, for his sales guys, or as he brings new people in, there's a clear roadmap to you reach these results. You now get this level. You're now this role. You get this bonus. You get these high, and there's a literally, for anybody who's driven, you have a clear roadmap. So again, use that, because I don't think there's enough employers that go to the depth to get very clear and specific. They have their own secret wants and ideas and needs that they think their employees should do, but they're not very clear on them. And so the communication doesn't tie. But yeah, I agree, Coach. Definitely.
Yeah, partnerships are tough. So when you switched and now you start out on your own and you're doing pretty good. 80,000 for a couple of guys and a truck is it's a pretty good hobby. But then to grow that to 1.2 million, what's the timeline? What kind of did that look like in your growth?
Well, it was gradual at first. I mean, the first couple of years, we actually flipped the business, almost double in size, and afterwards it was kind of gradual. And we kind of hit a ceiling at $750,000 for a couple of years, which is why I joined EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, for the coaching. And it's exactly what DJ is talking about processes and procedures, because you could teach this kind of stuff to MDs, lawyers, and they'll eat it up, right? But you can't tell this to entrepreneurs, because we're good at one thing. I'm really good at painting and managing, but I'm not really great at running a business. So we are risk takers. We just go in to the fire and say, hey, I'm just going to hire 10 people. If it works, it works. I don't know. But which is why I had to step back and join, an organization as great as EO, because now I have the accountability. I have a team that, holds me accountable. Hey, I have to do my work. I have to make sure I produce these processes and procedures so we don't fail, or we don't continue to make the same mistakes. So it's all about creating those processes and procedures, everything from the morning you put the key in that door, turn on the lights, to the moment you close. What do you do? And as much detail as possible as you can. As long as you have that, you could be certain that any new team member that comes into your organization is not going to fail, because you have that in place. I mean, if major organizations like Dell and Apple have it, why can a small painting company have it? So, and if you don't know, it's always good to say, hey, I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm not the person for this. But there's resources. You could hire other people. You could join an organization or get some coaching along the way to create this process and procedures. But without those, I mean, you're just bound to fail.
Yeah. Teachable, repeatable processes are vitally important to scale a business, for sure. So a lot of folks that we talk to, and a lot of my clients are struggling a little bit right now with the current labor market and finding people. How has it been for you in the whole process of building your team? I see a chuckle, so it must be universal.
It's funny because I'm actually going through that right now. We just got out of my cohort with my EO cohort, and we're going through Top Grading, which is a book about how to hire people, right? Prospecting better. I'm like most people. I've always had that notion and say, oh, there's nobody out there that wants to work, or everybody's lazy, or there are people out there. Maybe it's just our fault that we don't know how to hire, right? So that can really be the reason. We just have to look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe you don't know that what you're looking for, or what you really want in your business. Maybe you don't have all the certain guidelines for that person to come into your business to do a really great job. So in a sense, I'm just setting them up to fail, right? So that's why we have to get educated. So that's why it's funny, because we're just going through this right now, actually, is people section for our quarterly session. So we're going through this stuff. We're learning how to hire better. So I'm not saying that I'm not hiring at the moment right now, but I know eventually when I'm done with this program, I'm going to be a pro at hiring people and hiring the right people, and just be a better team by then.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, you had mentioned something about resource before, and if you don't know, you don't know. But there, I think what people need to realize is there's one, being a resource, and it's great if we can be the resource, but also be resourceful. And you are clearly, you use that very well with using and using groups and like you're talking about EO. So you're using the self-awareness. I think Coach, he would nail it, at least on that point of coaching, right? That he understands what's going on in the game now. He's just figuring out, finding the right pieces.
Yeah, because it's like anything else. There is a proven, repeatable process even for hiring. It's intentional. It's intentional and high quality recruiting, intentional and high quality hiring of the folks that you get through your recruiting efforts, and then the onboarding process is critical. And that's where your processes and repeatable systems are going to come into play and help keep them around. So this is the kind of stuff I get to talk about every day. So I love this. This is great conversation to me. I guess the last thing here that kind of came to my mind, it said in there in our title, not just transforming homes, but transforming lives. What does that mean?
So it goes back to the tagline that we use. What we do is simple. We take the pain out of painting. That's written on all our vehicles, on all our business cards. It's pretty much our marketing standpoint. It means a lot, and I won't go into everything that it means. But how it came into fruition was a good friend of mine that I met through networking and know years. Unfortunately, she moved out to Florida last couple of years ago. But we're really good friends. I painted her whole house, when I just had about 4 guys on board, and painted the inside of her house and the whole outside of her house, and had lunch with her, dinners with her and her husband and her daughter. So we became friends. And one day we were just sitting in her house with her husband and her, and just drinking some coffee. And we were looking for a new tagline because our first tagline was a fresh coat for a fresh start.
Mm,
But
that's
you know,
good.
and
That's good.
asking her,
That's a good one.
I think it should be, and she said, "Well, you guys are like, when I call you guys, it's like no problems. You answer the phone, you come right away, you clean up everything. It's like you take the pain out of painting." And I was like, "Whoa, there it is." So that's what transforming lives in homes and lives means to me. And we take the pain out of painting. Is that when you hire us, you're not going to have any headaches. The ones you're used to hearing from, the same people that I just told you about, take
Yeah.
20% down and they don't show up for 2 months. So they start the job and then leave somewhere else or leave your house trash everywhere. You're not going to have any of those issues with us. So we're not just a service company. We're in the gratification industry. We want to make fans out of our work, not just so much a satisfied customer. We want to make,
Fanatical fans, right?
yes, sir, great fans out of our work and that don't mind spreading the word. And so we go above and beyond. We always try to under promise and over deliver on what we on our processes and our procedures, that everything we do, from painting when we get to the house, and keep everything clean and treat the customer with respect and everything. So it embodies all that. It's not so much the transaction. I think if we do that right thing for the customer, because that's the main priority, along with our team, we keep our team happy, but they're the main concern. Then the money is just the byproduct. It's going to come regardless. To me, that's not the problem. As long as we do right by them, and we promise and we deliver on our promises, then everything else a byproduct.
Yeah.
I think the testament to that is somebody who isn't backing their words with that. It probably isn't networking or out in the public much, because they probably have some angry customers. So testament to that.
Yeah, with the color schemes on the shirt and the trucks and everything else, you're not hiding. You're putting it out there. I like that.
That's one of the things I try to do, is stand out from the rest. We don't want to be just like every painting company out there. We want to be colorful. We want to be live. And we mean what we say when we do it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. We did a renovation of our downstairs a couple of years ago, and our painting guys were great, but some of the other crews, it was exactly what you described. You never knew if they were going to show up. We would be given times and no communication whatsoever. It went months longer than what the project was originally scheduled to go. It was nightmarish at times, and so taking the pain out of that's important. I mean, that really is a difference maker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the so as you've grown the team, and you said it went over time, and you hit that plateau at $750,000. If you could maybe distill it to a couple of things that helped you break that plateau, was there something that really stands out that got you through the ceiling?
So the education was definitely a big one. Like I said, put a plug in for Entrepreneurs Organization. The accelerator program, Southeastern Virginia, has been really great for our growth. Just learning everything that I have been able to learn, and I'm not certain that I kept everything. I'm pretty sure I've learned only a small percentage so far, but I'm amazed by what it's done so far. So that's the only difference that we've done since our growth. Because in 2022 we did 757, and I joined EOA at October 2022. So by the end of 2023, we had done 1.2 million. And the whole goal of the program is to get to that million by growing your business. So by scaling it. So that's really the only differentiator that I've done to my business, is joining that EOA program, along with the coaching and just the members around there. You get so much information, and everybody's so willing to help you. Hey, this is what I will do. It's a very safe place to communicate your innermost fears that you're going through, because your family members can't relate to this. Your friends, a lot of the times that you hang out with, can't relate to it if they're not business owners themselves. Only somebody trenches and who's losing money or having a great week or lost an employee or whatever the case may be.
Responsible to pay 12.
Yeah.
For the payroll.
Yeah.
Can only relate to that. So
Yeah.
only being around those kind of people, you'll be able to get some information here and there. So it's been really great for us. And I think that was the point where we made a difference and broke through that ceiling, that plateau ceiling, if you will.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so
I love
obviously
it.
networking is a huge part of what you've done and what you've built. What are some other techniques that you've used to build your client base outside of networking?
Referral programs, just door to door, not door to door, door knockers, hanging out door knockers, flyers, yard signs, and stuff like that. Our vehicles account for about 12% of our revenue.
No kidding. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because they're very catchy, so everybody
Yeah.
sees.
Well, yeah, let me pop those up there again while you're talking about it. So here's some of the vehicles. It's
And what
like
happens
outside.
on the road is not. We hear it all the time. Hey, we saw one of your vehicles. I'm like, which color?
Yeah, there you go. Which color, guys?
That's a fleet right there.
Yeah, which one was it? So we're really good at tracking those numbers. The leads coming in. People say, "Hey, we saw you down the street," and which vehicle was it specifically, if you don't mind? Was it the red one? Was it the blue one? And we try to keep those numbers really tight. Hey, this much referrals came from BNI, disconnect, so on and so forth. Which neighborhoods, which cities. We have it compiled.
I
Reports.
love it. Now it's a data. You try.
Yeah, I want
That's
to know because I want to know
yes.
if I need to invest more on another vehicle wrap or another member of BNI, another salesperson in BNI, and so on and so forth. So for me, it's important to know and to thank those people too. Because we get a lot of referrals from realtors. Which realtor was it? Send them a card or something, a gift basket, something saying, "Hey, thank you for referring this many referrals to us." For me, it's very important. A lot of people don't think of that. They look at the revenue and profit, but I want to know exactly where it's coming from and why it's coming from there.
It all tells a story in the end. You
Oh, yeah.
track enough stuff, you can tell exactly what's going on and what works and what doesn't. But and when did that start for you? And so we got about 10 minutes left, so I do want to get into. Was there a position in one of your previous roles that was heavy into the data and analytics? But I mean, because even when you showed me and we talked about your and kind of the last point I wanted to get into before you share like where everybody can reach you at is you shared about, I mean, and you really are deep into wanting to know, but really tracking. So there's people, everybody wants to know, but what are you doing to know? And so like tracking is key. But I mean, even your book, when we first talked, you're like, here, I can tell you exactly how much of my business is from networking. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like
I want to hear more about
I
the book.
love
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, please share that.
So, like I said at the beginning, I love podcasting. I've listened to just about every single episode with Tony Robbins and multiple others too. And he had this gentleman, Jay Abraham, one day. He had a 2-part series. On his theory was the lifetime value of a customer.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
his theory is, which customers are generating either the same amount of money or more, but are giving you less headaches and you're collecting faster and there's really no hurdles to go through when you sell them. So I started analyzing that, and which is why we switched our business model when on our second and third year in networking, because after doing the homework, I was like, hey, I'm making a lot of money with these people, but they're also giving me a bunch of headaches. Contractors, property managers, other people that we had to work for. So I switched the model completely because I realized that the homeowners or the building owners themselves, they were so grateful and so appreciative when we did a job for them. They were like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful," as opposed to a builder. It's like, hurry up, just get it done and do another one, right? It's not the
Yeah,
same. So
it's not the same.
like that, they were willing to pay right away. Sometimes give you tips to your employees because we just took care of them so well, and our profit margins were a lot better too. So we
Yep.
switched models going to direct to consumer. So for me, that was
Smart.
Yeah.
pretty much learned from BNI because BNI has a way to track all your referrals and the app. So from there,
Yep.
we just created our own. We say whenever the phone rings, I created a little questionnaire. Um, how did you hear about us? Who was it specifically the referral? And we will go into the BNI website. Say, is it a BNI member? No. Well, it came from here, or it came from Facebook, or it came from Google, came from the vehicle wraps. So it just kind of took on its own.
So it's
Yeah.
on tracking. Yeah, it's on life. Yeah.
And, one office manager started it with me, and I'm on my fourth one now. She's been with me for over a year, and she's the one that runs all the ones monthly, quarterly, and yearly to see how much we're getting from different sources. Like BNI, for instance, is about a third of our business every year for the last 4 years. So I could tell you that because we run them all the time. And then Facebook, and even though we don't run ads, or we just people hear us on
Just
different.
posting. Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, we saw you on this military wives page. They're recommending you. So we want to know specifically which page was it. So we're getting very detailed about it as well. But that's pretty much how we got started. And it wasn't really hard. I think we make it harder than it seems sometimes. But it wasn't really hard to come up with something like that. Yeah.
I love it.
I do
Coach, what
too.
do you think, Coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. If you can control your priorities and your data, you've got a good jump on running a good solid business. So that's really awesome. I know I always love mindset type questions. And earlier you said that you love painting. What is it about painting that really connects with you, that makes you love it?
I love the end result, and I love how the reactions from the people. Now, obviously, I don't paint myself as much as I used to because I'm running the business, but that satisfaction that I get from somebody's like, "Wow, you did that to my house, like this fast, and, this good, this clean." That's just it brightens my day, my week, and the satisfaction that everybody else is along the way now, because before it used to be just me and a couple guys, but now we have a whole team behind it. Now the Google reviews are no longer about Andres painting my house. It's Felix, Pablo, Rick, and everybody else, and even the office manager gets mentioned. Oh, she was amazing on setting up our job and helping us with the colors. So the whole team gets mentioned as one. So that's even more satisfaction than before now, because now I felt like I created something for them to be proud of as well.
That's awesome. That's like a proud parent moment.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and that's yeah. I mean, your passion runs through with what you're doing, and I mean, it's a testament to how you're growing it, and yeah, kudos to just figuring it out. But I love
Hey,
that you
one
want.
more on the mindset side of things
Yeah,
before I call it.
yeah,
So every
yeah, yeah.
business has you. You seem very positive and you're happy with the business, and you feel like it feels like you're in a very good place. But every business has the ups and the downs. What do you do in the down times to keep that positivity going?
Well, just buckle down and keep going. I mean, that's one thing with entrepreneurs. I got a funny saying when I tell people, when we have deadlines, or certain people tell me, "Oh, we can't do this," or "We can't do that." I tell people all the time, for me, you got to kill me to stop me. I'm sorry. You know, you have to bury me. I'm not going to stop, no matter how many times I get knocked down. If I lose money this year or next year or whatever, I'll figure it out at the end, and, I'll come back stronger. That's it. And I hope I do get knocked down good enough that I can learn a lot from it.
Nice.
I
That's a
love
great
that.
answer. That was a
That's
great
yeah.
bookmark that one. And I hope I didn't speak too quick and overwrite the video on that one. That was good.
No, that was amazing. Yes, and that is the mindset. That's that is how
I
you
hope I
get
get
through it.
knocked down long enough to learn a lot. That is fantastic. I might steal that.
Yes, yes. I love that you said that, because I secretly feel that way. Let this challenge be so hard that I know I'm going to learn something from this. And so, like, yeah, the greater the challenge, man, the more the lessons. That's the truth. But
Yeah.
I guess if you could take those last couple minutes, share with everybody where they can reach out to you, how they can follow you, what you mentioned Facebook, you mentioned a few other ways, but mention where is the best way to reach out to you and the team and book an
Yeah.
appointment, or if they just want to find out more about EO, and shout out to EO. This obviously amazing group. Sounds like they have quite a good thing going. So even if they want to reach out to you to hear more about that. But yeah, let them know. And then thank you so much for this.
Yes.
We could be reached at www.akkpaintingllc.com. That is the best way to reach out to us if you're looking for an estimate. We do work throughout the Hampton Roads area. I live in Suffolk, but our office and headquarters area where we depart from in the mornings is in Norfolk, off of Little Creek Road, Sewers Point area. And yeah, that's pretty much how they can get in touch with us. Our phone number is 757-309-6444. But the best way really is to visit our website or our Facebook page and put a request through our website, and you'll get contacted right away by one of our sales guys. And just to plug in EO, I happen to be the EOA membership board chair. So I'm in charge of prospecting new members for the EOA program. So EOA is a help that you have to qualify for. You have to be above 250,000 in revenue and below $1 million. And then you could join the program, and with coaching and accountability groups, you could reach that $1 million. For me, it took only a year, so I could pretty much qualify now to join the real EO program, which is a different leg of the organization. But it's a global organization with multiple chapters in the area and in the country. So if you want to reach out to me directly regarding EO, you can visit the website again, and you can get my contact information from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man. Coach, final thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up.
No, just thank you so much. I really love the story, and the growth is phenomenal. So congratulations on that, and just keep transforming lives, man. This is great.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, if you are in the Hampton Roads area and you are looking to take the pain out of painting, you only have one place to go. It's right here, right there. Reach out to Andres. But again, AKK Painting. Andres, thank you so much for this, man. This was awesome. I can't wait to break this down with you on Thursday, Coach. It's a testament to why I loved everything you were telling me from the minute we met, and I was like, I have to have you on. Again, you're doing everything right. Tracking the data, tracking the analytics. It's going to tell you the story. There's no reason to guess. There's no reason to point blame anywhere. You can figure it out. Just find the numbers and track, and just keep testing. And like Andres said, Coach, can you recall that tagline that we want to pull from Andres? It's
I want to get knocked down long enough that I can learn a lot.
There we go, and keep getting knocked down until you learn enough, and just keep going.
Yep.
Yes, but until Thursday, y'all. Andres, again, thank you so much, man, for doing this. Coach, I can't wait. Thursday, y'all. Keep feeding the good wolf.
Appreciate it. Later.
Always on the red eye. This time around, it's not even about getting paid. I'm just an addict for the moment when the magic is made. And when you are who you really are, it can put you through hell. Spend a day in the skin that you wanna live in, and see how it feels while the world